Alright, hello everybody. Today we're on Marvel Future Fight, and I thought today would be a pretty good time to make a 2020 wish list for the game since Christmas is coming up. Do my little wish list for Santa, hoping for Netmarble, hoping to get some things added next year since I'm pretty sure this last update we just had is the last of the year. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get right into it. These are just my opinions as well. This is maybe you guys can come up with more things, some things I didn't think of, some things I missed. Just let me know. Um, but first things first, let's just straight to it. The first thing I'd like to see in Marvel Future Fight next year is more game modes. And yes, obviously we need more game modes to play because there's just not a lot of stuff to play. Some of the stuff we just auto play, but along with more game modes, I'd like to see challenging game modes. Especially since this last update with the World Boss Striker change. World Boss is just not really difficult anymore. If you have mind control like Scarlet Witch or somebody else, and all defense down strikers and just stack those, it makes World Boss extremely easy, even at higher levels. I've seen it and I've done it myself. I'm not a high level World Boss at all, but I'm working my way to it, and thanks to that, it makes it a lot easier. Um, I feel like they are going in the right step though, because they did add these four right side here, these mutant world bosses. They added those, which I guess is more content, I guess. But shout out to Cinecalix with the scrap the cap, which they still have not done. Which there should not be a cap on mutant materials, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion. So yeah, it makes these kind of like adding these mutant world bosses kind of, it's like you're contradicting yourself by not adding, like removing the cap or increasing the cap to like 9,000, especially with how many mutant updates we've gotten this year. So yeah, something actually challenging, because I mean legendary battle not challenging. Shadowland isn't challenging until you're like extremely high stages, and even then I don't really go past stage 35 because the rewards I want are just before then. I don't really feel like grinding that. um, Alliance battle not challenging. Timeline battle not challenging. It's like the same three characters that run the meta right now. um, and an example of a game I'd like to see is something we can use our character builds. So some new game modes they added this year was like Danger Room and World Event, but we can't use our own characters in that. We use the top built characters for those game modes. Like all these characters here that load up, we use the number one Iron Man, number one Doctor Strange, number one Apocalypse. We don't use our own character builds for that. And the same goes for World Event, whoever they throw in for that. It's just, I don't know. It doesn't feel like my builds and characters aren't really being to use here. And the same goes with co-op play, World Boss Invasion. It's nothing like Giant Boss Raid. I will say though, with the Galactus edition, was a great edition that was a great content edition this year. I really enjoy it. I love playing Giant Boss Raid. It's really fun. And that's something, like I said, that's one thing, like using your characters, seeing how well you can do, how much damage you can do, how fast can you clear it. It's fun to do. But everything else, it's just like autoplay, and it's pretty boring. Um, so yeah, that's number one. More challenging game modes, not just more stuff for us to autoplay in Marvel. Number two, I would like to see a second custom gear slot added within this next coming year. So there's two reasons behind this for me. One, so you can have a PvP and PvE build for your characters, which is a benefit to players. And two, is a benefit to Netmarble because they can make a hell of a lot more money by doing this. One, people are going to probably spend more money trying to get more CTPs, and two, more people are going to be changing their builds pretty often, and they can test multiple CTPs at a time, seeing what works best for that character. I just think it's a pretty good idea. I feel like it enables you. It also gives you a chance to use a lot more people in your roster, like especially in timeline battle, which by the way needs a huge rework. Which how the bands change each week. You can put it like, say you're like, for me, Thanos, Captain Marvel, and Deadpool / Captain America and Jean Grey are my PvP characters, but my Cap and Jean aren't really built, so I really just have those two. So it would be nice to have other strong PvP characters on my team, but I just don't, because I they here, let me do this. My roster is just like PvE mainly characters. I can't even try it. Like Quicks over here, great PvP character. I don't have him very built, but like I would like to give him a PvE build because I know how good he is, especially with his new uniform. And the same goes for even Psylocke with her new uniform. You can give her a lot of HP. She can do pretty well. And it's just it'd be really nice. I feel like both the players and Netmarble would win in a situation like that. Um, yeah, it'd make the game a lot more. It'd make you be very careful with what you give each character as well, but also at the same time giving you a lot of options. I think that's what this game is good at, providing a lot of options for you how you want to build a character. You can build it however you want. Granted, it's good or bad, but that's just how the game goes. Second, I would like to see more ways to obtain CCF other than World Boss, and sometimes like these event quests here. uh, they did take a step in the right direction though for this by doing this Conqueror level, adding Conqueror level to World Boss. So at stage 10, you see I got 50 CCF, which is nice, and that's a step towards more ways of attaining CCF. But although it is still through World Boss, I like that. I feel like they realize, with the more characters they add, the more tier 3s they add to the game, we're gonna need more tier 3 materials, and especially CCF. So I feel like this is a good way. But this kind of ties into my first point, my first wish on my wish list is more game modes. So they could add a new game mode, maybe something like World Boss, to where you can get CCF and make it guaranteed. Guaranteed CCF would be nice, which would incline that if it's guaranteed, it should be a very challenging game mode. Because not everybody in this game needs CCF. It's mostly the players that are building up tier 3s. So the game mode should be challenging to obtain that CCF. Next, I would like to go into more character reworks. Now, they are kind of getting into that already. With each update, they've been doing that. Like, with the past few updates, they reworked Rogue. I'm not going to count Domino. She deserves a better rework than this. Her uniform isn't good enough. But, some of these... And Vision is another one. Vision came with her, which I like. I feel like they should do that. Like, for every 3 new characters they add into the game, they should rework 2 old ones. And if they do that, I feel like they can really please everybody. I see comments all the time on Twitter and on the forums about people wanting all these old characters reworked. Because if you think about it, there's a lot of old characters in this game. And if you just keep forcing us new ones, like instead of even even though we have all these old characters, like some people have built up like Blade and Ultron, but they can't use them because they're not good. So now they have to wait for a new character to come out, do all that building up for them, and I understand it makes them money. But you can get the best of both worlds here, because odds are they're going to get the new character anyways. But if they do that system of 3 new characters, reworking at least 2 each update, I feel like that'd be a good way to rework all older characters like Blade and Ultron. Those are the 2 I really want them to rework. And speaking of old characters, with each update, like I said, this last update they added potential for old characters, but they're garbage, and it really confuses me as why they let us unlock potential for like Carnage, but he's trash. Which leads to my next point about potential realization. I don't have anyone to show right now, but please remove or rework the way you realize a character's potential. It is absolutely terrible that we have to sit here and wait to build our characters. Like it's not only making us like not enjoy the game because we just have to sit there and wait and not do anything, but you guys are missing out on an opportunity to even make more money. Because as soon as we're able to rank up that character because potential is already realized, then we can throw more money at y'all and get more resources. I don't say y'all as in everybody, but there are people that will do that. And I don't like how random there's enough RNG in this game already. Even when you're fighting, there's RNG with damage procs, critting, not critting. There's enough RNG already. I feel like that's an aspect that kind of RNG shouldn't be in the game, especially since you guys are adding technically even more RNG since you added more CTPs to the chest rolls and you add more cards to the chest rolls. that lowers our chances of getting other cards and CTPs. That's just more RNG. Um, that is my opinion. I think they should totally, honestly, I think they should remove it. I don't think they ever will. But if they could find a way to rework it, either we'll find a way to guarantee it, like do a certain stage, to get this much potential. So like the higher you go, the more potential you get, or use this certain team this day or for this boss, and you get this much potential for that character. Um, there could be better ways than that, obviously, but I'm not a game developer, so those are my main 2020 wishes for Marvel Future Fight next year. If you guys have any others, let me know. I'd like to hear what everyone has to say. Maybe y'all have some better ideas than me. But yeah, that'll be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I plan on doing more Future Fight videos in the future. And yeah, maybe I'm thinking about doing Strike Force again, but honestly, that game is much. If you thought I hated MCOC, that Future Strike Force is much worse. But I still might do videos on that, just to have another game to cover. But just let me know, guys, and thanks for watching.